Hello everyone, Secret Lair here, and here for a banner review video. So just some points to make out before we get going. Life has been busy and sometimes it's hard to find time to make videos because I have to have the motivation and the time to be able to do it. But whenever there's a new banner and a new update, I really push myself to make videos, so you're always going to have this banner review video come out, but I will try to make more videos more often. It's just difficult to, sometimes difficult for me to, get going. But I will try to make videos like the raid request videos, the hero tier list video, and all that. So here we have the banner Warriors of Valhalla. And so the new hero is Brunhilde, and she is a warrior class. If you haven't figured it out, the order goes like a ranger comes out, then a mage comes out, then a warrior comes out. So in Halloween come October, we should be getting an archer. That seems to be the theme. Whether they stick to it or not, I don't know. And so Brunhilde is a tank support, and her possible uses are arena, raids maybe in some cases, and the event dungeon. She'll be really good for that, and I should say specifically she's good for trophy pushing in arena, so getting the highest trophy score you can get. I'm going to start deciphering between trophy pushing and 24/7 arena teams, because there's two different metas when it comes to that. So let's get into her skills. We have Svalin. I mean, all this stuff is like Norse, and I'm bad at pronouncing it, so hopefully that's right. For 3 seconds, redirects 33% of the damage that allies take to herself. Already it's sounding good. This is the support aspect of her. So she's going to be, when her active goes off, she's going to take 33% of the damage that allies would normally take. That's reducing their damage. So Arachne has that damage over time. So all that damage over time for 3 seconds will be, 33% of it's redirected directly to Brunhilde. If the damage she absorbs is greater than or equal to 30% of her max armor, she explodes into a nova for 500% damage, and she receives 50% damage resist for 3.5 seconds. So when you see 500%, like I did when I saw it, I'm like, holy crap, that's a huge burst. But you have to realize it's 500% damage. So it's not 500% of the damage she took. She explodes in a nova for 500% of her damage. I'm pretty sure that's how it should be read. It's 500% of the damage she normally would do. So that minimizes it a lot. If it was, I could see it being overpowered. Like if it was the damage she took, that's a lot of damage if it was 500% of that damage. And I think that's what I was thinking at first, but no, it's 500% of her damage. This just does mean that you should use specific weapon enchants with her, obviously. And charges per use are 8, so it's a good amount of charges, but on a warrior, 8 charges goes by like nothing. Within like 3 seconds of a match, she's at 8 charges. So next we have Aegis of Protection, which is a passive. Equipped armor adds bonus HP to her at 275% conversion. Equipped shields adds 10 damage reduction instead of HP. 10% damage reduction instead of HP. Capped at 500% of base health. So really, she's supposed to be sword and board. Some people are doing two-hand with her, but if you do two-handed, you lose the damage reduction and just have the HP. So it's like you're losing part of this passive by doing that. So that's something to think about. And no matter what, she only gets 500% of her base health. So I guess there's a limitation somewhere in there where if you're a whale starting off and you get her the best armor possible in the game because you bought all the best armor, she's not going to go past 500% of her health. So she's not going to be like super overpowered for a whale. There's a limit to how powerful she can be. I believe that's mechanic was put there specifically to counter whales that would buy really good armor. And then we have Valhalla Bound. This one's an interesting ability. If any allies dies in the match, any ally dies in the match, gain 15% damage reduction and 2 times the effect of Aegis protection. That's this. So you get double that for the remainder of the match. So it seems like this stacks. If Brunhild is the first to fall, heal all remaining allies for 25% of Brunhild's max HP. She has a lot of HP, obviously. So if she dies, she heals everyone to max. So that's nice. So that might be a reason to give her a two-hander, so she dies faster instead of having that damage reduction. So it seems like with this ability, you should be putting her in the front to get targeted first, so that hopefully she dies first, because then all of your backline gets healed. But if she doesn't die first, and her other allies die, she ends up getting all this damage reduction, which is really nice. So overall, very tanky character that the damage aspect of her build is not that great. I don't know why. I keep forgetting to change some of this stuff. Like this says magic DPS, and it should be melee DPS. But it's 45%, so her melee mastery is pretty low. It's not that great. But her armor and her HP is dumb, like 305%. That's ridiculous. So she has a lot of HP. She's a tank. She's gonna live for quite a while. So the enchants I put on her, because her one damaging skill is based on damage, so I put damage 4 on her weapon. Unless you're using the two-hander, maybe you think about using Besiege, because she's not going to do that much damage anyways. But if you're doing a one-hand and a shield, I would put damage 4 on the one-handed weapon. If you're doing a two-hander, then Besiege is probably fine to do. That might help with it. It might actually slow down her getting her ability off, which might be good because you might want her to die first, so she heals the rest of your team. But you wouldn't want that for dungeons, weekend event dungeons. You definitely want to do sword and board versus doing a two-hander weapon. But for raids, maybe. Helm, projectile protection, just because projectile enemies do the most damage. Armor, you could go, if you're going to do a two-hander, you can go power 3. But again, projectile projection is good for her tankiness. Shield, I would go fortify. If you can't do fortify yet, projectile protection. To specifically note, I did note that she might be good for raids, and that's because she counters the all-range meta pretty well. Because all-range meta kind of focuses on taking out the back line and getting Arachne's stuff off, her skill off. So if you have Brunhild in your party, she counters that, so she could help you win more consistently against all range teams. So when you're facing a raid target that has people who have those all range teams, you could theoretically use Brunhild to beat those teams more frequently. So that's an option. So possible future changes. Nova damage is likely to get nerfed. I said that, but I think I wrote that when I was thinking, oh man, this skill does so much damage. It doesn't do all that much damage. I think Nova damage is likely to get changed, not nerfed. I think they're likely to change it. The damage reduction is likely to get nerfed. Her damage reduction is pretty hefty, so I think that is likely to get nerfed. The Nova damage I think is likely to get changed, not nerfed. Just because her damage is so low, it's like 500% is not that great. So everyone, final thoughts on Brunhild. I should give final thoughts on Brunhild. She's great for events, for weekend event dungeons, and she's great for pushing trophies in arena, but she doesn't allow quick fights, and she doesn't allow for, mainly she doesn't allow for quick fights, and she has limited versatility. She doesn't have a lot of damage, so you can't use her as a damage dealer. So that's just my thoughts on that. You're welcome to comment down below. Special shout out to Fiery Wind. who I discussed this hero with a little bit before making the video. Please like and subscribe, and I hope you enjoyed this video. I'll be putting part 2 to the update up afterwards.